Grab a pen or a marker, and here we go. I probably will not spend as much time as I would doing a lesson, but here we go. So the first thing is intercepts. So make corrections as you go. So for this, it would be negative 5x is equal to 20. You divide both by negative 5. X is equal to negative 4, so it's negative 4, 0. I would give you half a mark for each intercept, okay? And then we have y-intercept would be 8y is equal to 20. Divide both by 8, you get 2.5. That's 0, 2.5. So 1 mark for that step. Hopefully you got it right. If not, then take off marks, right? Then I rewrite that. So I just go 8y is 5x plus 20, right? It's less than 5x, and then divide both by 8. Y is less than 5 over 8x plus, in this case, you can go 2.5 because it's a finite decimal. If you end up with if you divide here, you get repeated decimals, leave it as a fraction, okay? Don't, because you're entering this into your calculator, and when you're finding the POIs, I want to use the equation, or in this case, the inequality that has all of the decimals included. So either one is fine. You get a mark for that. And I would like this to be part of your, right? This would be dashed. True region is below. I would also shade below because I don't need to do reverse shading here. Quite frankly, I'm more concerned where you say the solution region is, where the true region is. That is, to me, the most important part. Okay, so then we go ahead and graph it. I provide you with the grid. You need to do everything else, right? So give it some sort of scale. The way this turns out, the darker marks would be 4 and then 8 and so forth. This would be negative 4, negative 8, negative 4, negative 8, and so forth. And so negative 4, 0 is right here. 0, 2.5. This would be 2, so 2.5 is right about there. And you just go ahead and connect the dots with a dashed line, right? So we're going to go dashed. We're going to be dashing through the snow after this, right? Y is less than 5 over 8x plus 2.5. And the true region is here, right? True or solution, I don't care what you call it. And so that in this case, I'm going to shade regular because it's really easy to see where the solution region is. So that would be a complete, this would be a 4 marker here. So let me just have it all in. So 1 mark for this, 1 mark for that, and then 2 marks for the graph, okay? Because the graph has a bunch of components there. I would say if you forgot to label anything on the axes or the inequality, that's half a mark deduction. If if a dashed line, if you did solid versus a dash, that would go minus half. If you didn't indicate where the true region is, that's minus 1. Okay, unless you shaded it, then technically you're okay, right? But I would suggest label your true region. That is the key here. That's the most important part. Okay, so 4 marks for this one. Next. So I'm going through in detail. I would like to just show you the key, but I think it's worth spending the time here. So x and y intercepts again. This is, by the way, I should just mention, this is already the way I want it. It's cleaned up, but you may have to do some cleaning up before you jump into finding the intercepts. I should mention that, right? So to find the intercepts, let me zoom into that part. There we go. And so you would get, you would have negative 27x is equal to 126. Divide both sides by negative 27. Remember, you're finding the intercepts of the boundary line. That ends up being x is equal to negative 4.67, so it's negative 4.670. That's a point. Next would be negative 21 is equal to 126. Sorry, that's a y there. Divide both sides by negative 21. Y is equal to negative 6, exactly. So it's 0, negative 6. So 1 mark for the whole thing. Right, you get a mark for having that done correctly. Let's rewrite it. So that would be negative 21y is greater than or equal to, and then the negative 27x comes over positive and joins the 126 that's on that side already. Something's going to happen here, right? Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you're dividing by a negative. So this has to flip the other way. That is a full mark, right? Just that flip is a full mark. If you didn't flip the inequality, you lose a full mark here. And your graph will be different. You will be shading a different region, which we will take into account, right? You won't lose marks again down the road. You just lose it here, okay? So y, and this would be, this is quite ugly, so I'm just going to leave it like that. And this is actually exactly negative 6, so I can just go ahead and do that. So this whole thing rewritten is 1, but another extra mark for the flipping of the, right? I'll just say flip. And if you go back to it later. Okay, so we've got 3 marks already here, and now we're doing our graph just like before. I will make this a little quicker. So negative 4.67 is right about there, close to the 5. And then 0, negative 6 would be right about here. I'm looking at my slope, and this slope is going down, right? I don't know if you graph this on your calculator to reassure yourself. Oh, I'm skipping a step. Sorry. It's solid. True is below. Shading is below. Okay. And it should jive, right? If you make that conclusion based on your symbol, look up top. It was also below. The true region was below, right? So you kind of double check that you're doing things right. Solid line. Right. X and Y. This is Y is less than or equal to. The true region is here. It's below the line. And you just shade that part. And the graph is worth 2 marks, okay? So there's your 5. Okay, so this page is worth 9 marks. Okay? What I saw when I walked around, I couldn't see all of yours, you were on different questions. It seemed to me that at least you knew what you had to do. If you made a mistake along the way, just learn from it today, right? That's what this is all about. Let's go to the back real quick. Curious to see how you did on this one. No y variable. I don't know if you caught that. This is going to be a vertical line. And I did see a lot of verticals there, so that's good. Let's clean this up. I don't like it the way it is. So it's 3x minus 6, right? You distribute that. Get rid of brackets by distributing. Let's bring everything over to one side. So it's 2x minus 3x is less than negative 6. That's negative x is less than negative 6. Don't like that, so I have to divide by negative 1. Flip the symbol, right? So x is 6. So this symbol right here, I would give a mark. And then rewriting it gets another mark. So in this case, you didn't have to find the intercepts. So 1 mark, 1 mark. And we're going to say that this is dashed. True region, it's greater than, x is greater than, so true is to the right. And we will be shading right as well. We'll be going regular shading here. Okay. And let me just see if I'm missing anything. No, we're good. So 6 is right about here. And I'm already going to shade. So don't, I hope it doesn't mix you up that I'm using regular versus reverse. It has to do with making it easier to see our solution region. Okay, so this is x is less, greater than 6. And so you get 2 marks for the graph as well. That's where your 4 come in, right? Flipping the sign, rewriting in general, just cleaning it up and rewriting, and then 2 for the graph. You good? And here is the last piece here. So line A, we're going to focus on this one. We know it's dashed, right away, but let's find the slope and the intercept first and foremost. Don't think I gave you dots, so I'm just going to focus on this point and see if I can find another one. And I see it crossing what appears to be, it crosses right here. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, and then down 1. Let's see if I can repeat that. 1, 2, 3, down 1, yes. And I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, down 1. So that seems to be a good pattern there. So it's there's a rise of 1 and a run of 3. So it's 1 over 3, and it's negative because the line is going down, right? Like a line is going down from left to right. B is negative 8. Right? And then so I'm going to start y, and I'm going to go negative 1/3 x minus 8. And here I have to be careful. I will say that it's dashed. And the true region, if I look at this line, the true region is below the line. Okay? So that means that I have to use this symbol here. That one. So that would be your inequality for this particular case. I will give you 2 marks for this. Okay? So this is how I normally treat this. I give you half and half. So half for the slope, half for the intercept, and then I give you a full mark for the symbol because it has to be pointing the right way and it has to be either a dashed or a solid line. So there may be an equal sign or not, right? So you have to kind of, so you get a full mark for the symbol and you get a full mark for the slope and intercept. I would agree with you if you said the slope is more work, but that's just easier to mark it that way. Next, line B, slope, intercept. Intercept is -5. I know that right off the bat. It's a positive slope, so I'm going to start here and try to find another instance where it crosses. It seems to be right here. So I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does work out, right? So it's 4 over 5 positive. Okay, it's a positive. So I can start 4 over 5x minus 5. And this is solid. True is below the line again. So I have to go less than or equal to for that to be correct. Okay. So 1 mark for the inequality symbol and 1 mark for the slope and intercept. So that gives us 8 for this backside, 8 in total for this whole backside, 9 for the front. And you're the teacher today, so you give yourselves marks accordingly. All right, so 8 and 9 gives us that total of 17. So just make sure your name is on there, and I'll take it in.